Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And before we get to the disclaimers, yes, I am having another bad allergy day, so you may hear a cleared throat or some other weird noises that come during when allergies attack. I apologize for that in advance. Disclaimers: if you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign, you will find pertinent links in the description box. Should you like to do a deep dive on your own, you should be able to go ahead and do so. Trigger warning: this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity. And when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So, if you are a parent who has children watching the channel that are 16 or younger, parental supervision very much advised, alright? Alright. And this is from the Tosha Brothers. It says it's a little bit long. So yes, we're going to be splitting it. So, get my cough drop going here. This says, this October, I would like to bring attention to the many issues IACC have been overlooking. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of people that have been missing. Like, less money towards curing, more money towards, actual services. Just for starters. Firstly, autistic people with complex sensory issues should have research done in order to navigate ways to mitigate their unnecessary pain and confusion. Therapies that involve redirecting our attention and energy away from the negative stimulus would be the most noteworthy that come to mind. And assistive devices and taught different types of coping mechanisms would be much appreciated, because you're going to come into those situations in life where there's not really any way to get away from the negative stimuli. So you have to sometimes have that reasonable accommodation and assistive device. It's part of the reason why every time I go into a new appointment, I go into full disclosure. So if there's a moment where I'm going to need a stress ball, or I need an additional break, or I have to go no noise whatsoever for a small minute, I'm able to do so. Reinforcing positive thought pattern through therapies like acceptance and commitment therapy, otherwise known as ACT. I guess I'm not very up on ACT. I've never had problems with acceptance or commitment. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Not my area of expertise. Or the cognitive behavioral therapy known as CBT. Please study these in place of harmful therapies like ABA and RBT. For the love of God. And also, getting the concept of person-centered planning, person-centered treatment, that needs to be a hell of a lot more widespread than it is. We also need more programs out there. I know they exist already. I'm saying we need more of them to teach folks like myself early on how to make their voices heard. The sooner you begin in your advocacy journey, especially if you're neurodivergent, you want to get going as soon as humanly possible, because they are going to start lining up to try and either take A, your voice away, or B, convince you don't have one. So I would like to see a lot more like that, especially in mid-school to high school. There should be like heavy, not just advocacy, but learning about your own needs, becoming more a part of your more overall treatment program and what that looks like. Because right now, nobody teaches you. Flying by the seam of our pants and just hoping for the best. I did alright, I suppose. I've had my moments. Behavioral therapies as a whole are not evil, and when used properly have the potential to heal instead of harm autistic individuals. Like my current shrink, for example, does a lot more good than harm. I particularly appreciated that she did have the expertise to work specifically with someone like me who has high anxiety and is also an autistic adult. An example of this is how many people use inspiration from famous cult bite model invented by Steve Hassan to curb their addictions and make positive behavioral changes in their lifestyles. I myself have tried these techniques with great success, but like I said, there is an undeniable dark negative aspect to these methods which is already used in ABA today. They are performed with the wrong intention of controlling the target's everyday mannerisms to invoke total obedience. See, that's the thing I keep telling you all. Conform! Obey! Excuse me. Do I have a sign that over my head that says I'm neurotypical? That I'm unaware of? Yeah, I thought not. So, if you think you're getting total obedience without question from one of us, I'm going to need you to put down your crack pipe. And then I want you to reach out to my mom and ask her how well that worked for her. My dad and stepdad, too, if you really want to get in there. But if we conditioned you, that's the thing. It's extremely difficult to condition an autistic person. You think, but if you keep doing things repetitively, eventually you'll think it and it'll just become natural and that's who you are now. No. My brain wiring remains the same. Okay? Which means in times of extreme stress, it doesn't matter how much behavioral conditioning you put my ass through, I'm going to factory default settings. We all do. It's part of the reason you all get so mad at us. But I thought I fixed you. And there's the problem. We're not here to be fixed. We need help with the things that we need help with. The things that we don't, we would rather you leave alone. And no, you cannot, through behavioral conditioning, get us to give you total control and total obedience. But maybe if they did it through fear. And how long does the effect of fear last? Okay? Yeah, if you take out fear-inducing mind games from the equation, along with the induced feelings of shame, you will find a wonderful therapy that many autistics can use, like ACT or CBT. So please focus on those from now on, as they've already done with the intention of empowering patients. And I push hard for person-centered planning. I really do, because it makes me, the person receiving the treatment, the final yay or nay. In a way not many treatment programs really do. in a way that ABA certainly never does. And I want that information to get out to people like the Tosha brothers. They should know something out there exists called person-centered planning. That a lot of times within that treatment frame, other therapies can be a part of it, like ACT or CBT, for example. They deserve to know what other options are out there. But we have resources that have resources, but it's not evenly distributed to the populace, is it? Yeah. Therefore, we should not and cannot advance in this conversation if curative efforts are still underway. Therefore, we should not and cannot advance in this conversation if I want to make that abundantly clear. In my opinion, there should be no genetic research of any sort until protections are guaranteed. Otherwise, autistic people should start their own research organizations and study ourselves as retaliation for all the crimes against humanity committed against us over the years. It would only be fair. Don't get me started, bro. Do not get me started. I disclose this opinion with the mind that we should deviate from genetics completely into the future until we as a society can put rules in place that safeguard autistic genetic information from eugenics. And folks, if you want to sit there, but there's protections now, RFK Wormbrain Jr. means my ass is not only not protected, but I'm targeted in a way that I never was before, in spite of being on a government watch list. What were you on it for? What would I be on it for, folks? Let's think here, shall we? I've been the thorn in many the political side for years. Let me just put it lightly. Now, we're going to go ahead and close out on this one. We'll get to the next video here in a little bit. But first, we don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So if you folks would be so kind, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. And make sure you're still set up to receive notifications so you don't miss the alerts for the Down the Rabbit Hole or the Snake Oil Salesman series. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.